It is ultimately important for you to look at your goals, truly what you want to do in your life, and then look at the people who you spend the most time with in your life and figure out if that lines up. All right. Good morning. Good morning. Happy Wednesday to you, Patricia. It is Wednesday, October 16th, 2019, and that means we have exactly 75 days left to make 2019 the very, very best that you possibly can. 75 days is not a lot of time. It's almost over, guys. Almost over. So good morning, Brent, AJ, Lydia. What's happening, guys? Thanks for tuning in this morning. So I know, guys, I spent the last couple of days out on a job site, and it was a good reminder to me, of how many people, just kind of get in that state where they're a little tired, they're worn down. It's been a long year. It's been a long year regardless of, what kind of industry you work in. The guys that I was hanging around the last couple of days were, out in the field, and I've been out in the field a lot in the last couple of weeks. So it's a good reminder of the fact that, the years go by and, most people look at it from January to December. And so when you get to this point of October, mid-October, you can just see it in people. They're just getting a little bit, tired. And so people start to think, man, I just can't wait for the holidays to come so I can get a little bit of a break. And for most people, they work at places or they're around people that just kind of pay attention a little bit less during the holidays. And so, we can get away with a little bit more if you blow things off or whatever. But the title of the show kind of says it all. It's not supposed to be easy. Right? It is not supposed to be easy, guys. And so, I spent the last couple of days, listening to people. And I discussed this with the guy that I was working on this job with. And I said, it's funny when you listen to people, the things that you hear and then how often those same exact things get repeated, whether it's, oh, man, we're tired. Oh, man, this is a long day. Oh, man, this is it, And so there's constant talk about how difficult things are. Good morning, Joe, Christina, Chris. What's happening, Dean? Thanks for tuning in, guys. But the reality is when you put difficult in perspective, right? The opposite of easy is difficult or hard. When you put difficult in perspective, isn't it just what you ask for when you ask for more in your life? It's just what you ask for. And you can't expect to get the things that you want, a new house, a new car, a new boyfriend, girlfriend, husband, wife, whatever it is, growth in your business. You can't expect to get those things without some level of struggle. It's just how it works, guys, right? And so when you start to think about that, that the struggle is part of the game that we play, right? It's just part of the game that we play. You have to be willing to embrace the struggle to be able to level up, to be able to go to the next level in whatever it is, whether it's personal stuff, professional stuff, it doesn't matter what it is. It requires you being willing to give up some things to get up to the next level, to go through some sacrifice to get what you want. And so when you start thinking that way, there's a couple of things that are going to happen for you. And notice I said happen for you, right? There's a couple of things that are going to happen for you. Number one is that you will start to accept that adversity that comes your way instead of wondering why it's happening every time it happens. And we all go through those moments, by the way. Still, I'm telling you guys, I'm giving you this advice, and sometimes I got to give myself this advice. So understand that it happens to everybody. You have to be willing to embrace that adversity, and you have to be willing to recognize when you're starting to feel bad for yourself, when you're starting to retreat instead of pushing forward, when you're starting to do all those things that put us in a routine that's not serving us. And that's what you have to remember. When you're in a routine that's not serving you, which is, blaming, complaining, not really, understanding that adversity comes with the program, it comes with everything that you're asking for, that will throw you off track. And so when you start to think about adversity the way that you should, you're going to start to accept that adversity that comes your way instead of wondering why it's happening every single time it's happening. It's happening because you asked for it. And that's what you got to remember. Number 2, once you get past that point where you start to accept what it is, right? You start to accept and understand that that's part of it. There's something strange that will happen for you, and that is you will start to look at these things and be grateful for the struggle. You will start to be grateful for those moments that really, are difficult, because as Joe said earlier, hard is fun. Hard is where the magic happens. Hard is where you feel alive. Guys, when things are easy, there is absolutely nothing exciting about your life. Nothing exciting. I promise you. I've been there a million times. I've been in the place of easy a bunch of times. And what I've figured out in my own life is that I only feel myself, feel the best about myself, feel the most fulfilled when I am grinding towards something that is difficult to achieve. And so once you get to that point of understanding that it's part of the program, the next step will be that you will start to be grateful for that struggle. You'll start to understand that, it is part of the process, and it is what will take you to where you want to go. And so when you get to that point, it will start to take some massive turns in the right direction. Unbelievable, massive turns in the right direction. And absolutely, Patricia, you have more appreciation for your accomplishments when you go through the adversity. And especially when you're grateful for the struggle, man, the amount that you will learn, the amount of things that you will take with you, the lessons that will come in your life will multiply like you can't imagine. So it's important to understand that, it's part of what comes with the program, and then train yourself to be grateful in those moments that you're facing that adversity, and try to find the lesson, right? Once you understand that there's a lesson involved in what you're going through, it gets easier to deal with. It's much easier to deal with. So as we approach the end of the year here, guys, I'm gonna tell you, I work with a lot of different people, between the people inside of our companies, our different things projects that we've got going on, and then all of the contractors that we work with across the country. I interact with a lot of people, and so here's what I will tell you: as the end of the year nears, a lot of people, almost everybody, slows down at the end of the year. As the end of the year gets closer, you're going to see your competition start to slow down. They start to get a little sloppy. They start to take some days off. They start to pump the brakes. And I'm not telling you it's not okay to take days off. I'm telling you, I'm just giving you what everybody does so that you can understand what your possibility is here at the end of the year. So they get a little sloppy. They get tired. They start to pump the brakes. So this is the opportunity where the people who really grind, who really are motivated to jump ahead of everybody else, this is the time where you can take out your competition, where you can really advance ahead of everybody else that you're working against, maybe in your industry. If not, maybe it's just a race against yourself, right? The old you would have slowed down, would have pumped the brakes, would have, just not taken advantage of this opportunity at the end of the year to capitalize. And I get it, guys. I personally am physically exhausted right now. It's been a long year. We're getting to that point. But the reality is that your mind is what will tell you to keep going or to slow down. It's not your body. Your mind will drag your tired body along if that's what you decide to do up here. That's the most important piece of what you have to recognize, is that, when you're tired, when things get difficult, you start to get worn down. It is your mental toughness, your mental focus, your discipline that will drag you the rest of the way to the finish line. It's not about your body. Your body just does what your mind tells it to do. Trust me, I've been pretty sore. I've been pretty tired in my life, and I've kept going, and I'm still living. So I promise you that, whatever it is that you decide to do, if that's, a workout program, if it's something professionally, if it's something with your children that you want to spend more time with them, you can always dig deeper and make that happen. And you can absolutely make up for that in rest and all those other things later. It's a choice. And by the way, there's no blueprint to it. You have to develop that. That is what self-discipline is all about. It's about developing that routine, developing that accountability to yourself that puts you in a better position than you were in before. That's what's really important, guys, is to develop that skill so that this time of year, when everybody else is starting to put their foot on the brake, slow down, take a rest, looking forward to Thanksgiving. They're counting the number of days till the end of the year. They're counting the days until they can work a little bit. They can have easier days, right? When you get to that point, it's your opportunity to capitalize on everybody else. If you're in my industry, like the seal coating guys that are in my industry, they're pretty much done working for the season, right? And guess what every seal coating guy that's done for the season is doing this week? Probably not a whole lot of prospecting for customers for next year, working on their business, starting to get a little bit ahead of everybody else. None of them are doing it. So if you decide that you're going to be one of those people, one of those businesses that takes advantage of that, nobody else is calling these customers right now. They figure they've got 6 months before they have to go back to doing something, right? And the reality is, you strike while the iron is hot. You strike while you have momentum. You work a month. Put a month's worth of work in right now, and what will that pay you in dividends down the road? It's those moments, guys, when everybody else starts thinking about how difficult it is. They feel bad for themselves and they start to slow down. It's those moments where you can gain the most for yourself and against your competition, whoever that may be. And that's the truth. If you are the person that pushes harder, that does things when other people won't do them, everybody else is taking off and you're still working, you will absolutely capitalize, because where the pack goes, there's a lot of noise. Where those people who outwork the pack, who go off on their own and follow a path, man, it's real quiet and lonely over there on the extra mile. But the results are right there every step of the way. Every step of the way. There you go, my man Alex Lucic. 100%. That dude's winning every single year. Why? Because he starts to prospect sooner and sooner and sooner. And by the way, he's always sharpening his skills of how to prospect, of what to say, how to bring more value to his clients. What can I do to work harder, not to get something given to me, but to face the difficulty of what's out there in the market and of becoming better yourself. It's not easy, guys. This self-development stuff is not easy for those people who actually do it. There's a lot of people that just sit and listen and they take in a bunch of information, but they don't ever act on it. So for them, it's not so difficult. But for those people who are trying hard to get better all the time, it is hard. And the better you get, guys, the harder it gets to get better. Because now you're not looking for huge gains. You're looking for inches, little details that you can implement into your life, into your business, that make you better. I am constantly looking. If I told you, I just went through my Amazon account the other day, and the amount of money that I have spent on books this year, and books that I have read this year is insane, because I'm looking for those inches in every aspect. I don't just buy business books. I buy business books. I buy books that I think will make me a better father, books that will make me a better husband, anything that I see that will make me better in the buckets of life that matter to me. I'm trying to get it. I am facing those difficulties. It's hard to juggle all the things that I try to juggle. Some days are better than others when it comes to how successful I am juggling it all. But the reality is that if you don't face those things head on and you don't work at it consistently, I'm not telling you got to work 18 hours a day every single day. I'm telling you have to be focused. You have to be intentional, and you have to have a plan. And if you do, those difficulties will start to turn into things that are gifts. You'll start to be so grateful when you feel that pressure pushing back on you, because you will recognize that you're about to do something big. I'm at one of those points right now where I feel like, man, it's been a long year. I'm pushing, trying to hold everything together. It gets really hectic in our business this time of year. It's a race to the finish. But the reality is, as a leader, as a person that people look to for guidance, for advice, you have to constantly be working on yourself so that advice is A, quality, is B, calculated and educated. It's not just, when I come on here, guys, I don't give you advice that I haven't lived or gone through. I don't give you concepts. I give things that I personally have been through. There's a lot of people out there on social media, on the internet, that are giving you advice for shit they've never done in their life. That's the truth. I've run into a bunch of them, and I believed them too. I believed that they knew what they were talking about for at least a couple of weeks, a couple of days. And then I figured out these people aren't actually doing it. They're not actually doing it. So when you are the one that people are looking to, and there's a lot of you that watch this show that are those people to other people, whether you're parents, whether you're a leader in your business, whether you own a business, whether you're starting a business, you have to be able to teach people about the world of difficult, because easy is easy. When things are easy, everything's easy. But when things get difficult, that's when people start to measure you. When things are easy, nobody's paying attention. You ever notice that? Nobody wants to talk about things when they're easy. When things are going well, they always are looking to other people, and they're measuring how other people deal with difficult. One of the things that I say all the time to our customers is that everybody has values. Everybody says the way that they're going to do something until it's going to cost them money, until it's going to cost them time, until it's difficult. And then you will find out what values people truly have. And that is reality, guys. That's how the world turns. If you are in one of those positions that I just mentioned, people are looking to you in those moments where they need you the most, which is difficult. And it's not everybody. Ask my team, I never try to handle something difficult inside my company without having a conversation with somebody else. It's not that I don't want to take the blame, that I won't shoulder the decision. It's that it is always better to have a second opinion, to have some insight from other people. Sometimes you can't, right? Sometimes you just got to pull the trigger. But at the end of the day, when things are difficult, that's when other people, that's when your circle, that's when your support comes in, and that's what will take that to the next level. So remember, guys, just to recap here, it's not supposed to be easy. So when you feel that this time of year, you feel yourself getting tired, you feel yourself getting distracted, you feel yourself getting worn down, remember, these are the times that you will break through and catapult to new levels in your life if you just keep pushing. But if you just take every day and you feel exhausted and you go lay on the couch, Netflix and chill, as they say, then don't expect to get the gains that other people are getting. Not how it works. If you don't show up to the gym, you can't gain the muscle. And so this time of year is where that's won and lost. If you watch NFL football, where are most games won and lost? In the fourth quarter. Because everybody's tired, everybody's worn down, and that is the time when those teams can capitalize, take advantage of the other team being tired. It's the same thing that you guys can do. You have plenty of time from Christmas to New Year's to recharge, to get your thoughts together. And I'm not telling you that's the only time, but just be selective, guys. Keep working. It's those inches, those times that you put in. Imagine this. If you put in an hour in November, it could be the equivalent of 10 hours that you don't have to work or that you can do something else in January or February. It's that important, guys. So when it gets difficult, just remember, it's not supposed to be easy. Embrace it. Embrace the difficult, and great things will start to happen to you in your life. Thank you guys that tuned in this morning. I appreciate it. Please like, share, comment, tag somebody in the post. Again, we're on every single podcast platform that there is, iTunes, Stitcher, Spotify, all those things. So make sure if you guys haven't subscribed to it yet, please go over there and subscribe. It's just under the Perspective Podcast on all of those platforms. So you guys can go over there, subscribe. They'll get delivered straight to your phone. So if you guys miss some stuff in the morning, you can see all the titles as they come in. You can pick and choose the ones you want to listen to. I appreciate you guys. If you got any value out of this, please turn somebody else on to the show so we can reach more people and hopefully help a lot more people start their days on a more positive perspective, with a more positive perspective. That's what we're trying to do here. I appreciate you guys tuning in. I'll see you same place, same time tomorrow morning right here at 7:30 on Morning Perspective. Love you guys.